Hello and welcome to Lincoln to Local. I'm Hannah Nemechek here with LeeAnna McNally to wrap up the week at the state capitol. LeeAnna, last week we saw a deadline for bills to make it out of committee. Can you tell us about what bills came through and what didn't make it?
Several bills are what they consider now to be dormant. You know, over 1,500 bills became dormant after last week, the deadline week. So that's encouraging news. You know, that doesn't mean that they can't re-pop up at some particular point in session through procedural type measures. But for the most part, those 1,500 bills are dormant. Of course, we're still watching a lot of legislation that's still going through the process. That includes issues such as ad valorem taxes, wind rights, oil and gas production, those types of things. There's several bills still out there that we're watching quite closely.
So Senate Bill 593 passed the Senate this week. What does that mean for Farm Bureau members?
Senate Bill 593 was a real private property rights bill in our membership's point of view. It was authored by President Pro Tem Mike Schultz, a longtime Farm Bureau supporter, but also really dealing with the private property rights issue of the wind energy development. The bill requires communication between the oil and gas industries as well as the wind development industries, specifying certain notification procedures, as well as dealing with what we call a shamport issue. Last year, there were a lot of folks that had filed for a private airstrip, which of course there's setbacks dealing with the wind energy when there's a turbine near a private airport. Well, then the private airport was never built. And so it really was a hindrance on private property owners who wanted to develop their surface rights, and then obviously those that have oil and gas interests. It really was the start of a conversation to enable the most productive type of the development of interest of landowners across our state.
We've seen some ad valorem tax bills advance at the Capitol. What can Farm Bureau members do to assist our efforts in fighting them at the Capitol?
Certainly, House Bill 1374 by Representative Weldon Watson and Senate Bill 345 by Senator Holt. They're both moving through the process. They have great concerns, our Farm Bureau members do, about ad valorem taxes and municipalities having access to ad valorem taxes that they haven't had in the past. So I encourage our membership to call their legislators, and even if call or email or both their legislators on these two very serious topics.
So this week we also hosted our Legislative Leadership Conference in Oklahoma City, had a number of members attend. Can you give us a wrap-up of that event?
We had a great event in Oklahoma City. We had about 150 people showed up to really listen to state leaders about where our state is going and offer suggestions on their vision of where they want our state to go. We had several speakers. Lieutenant Governor Todd Lamb, Burns Hargis came and joined us. Several great speakers that really helped our Farm Bureau membership assist in their visionary to move our state forward.
Great, thanks LeeAnna. And thanks for joining us for another episode of Lincoln to Local.